Today Africa Podcast is a podcast series where we interview African entrepreneurs and professionals and share the stories behind their businesses. In each interview, we ask how they got started, how they grew, and how they run their business today. The stories are inspiring and also provide specific advice and insight into starting a business. By sharing these stories, we want to help others get started.
Welcome to the Africa podcast, where we share inspiring conversation with remarkable individuals shaping the future of the continent. And joining me today is a remarkable woman who is channeling her energy, her resources, her skills into making complex tech concepts accessible to Hausa-speaking audience. She's no other person than Zainab Saidu Idris. She's a creative director of Creativity Enthusiast Network based here in Nigeria. Zainab, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Could you please tell us who is Zainab Saidu Idris?
Okay, so just like you mentioned, my name is Zainab Saidu Idris. I am a graduate of software engineering for my advanced diploma, and for my BSc, I studied information technology. Currently, I serve as the assistant program manager with Data Science Nigeria. I lead a community for Google Women Techmakers, and also my baby organization that I founded almost 2 years ago, which is Creativity Enthusiast, where we specialize in localizing tech terminologies into easy, or should I say, localized content for our communities in order to bridge the gap that we have between the global audience and also the local communities.
Tell me more about Creativity Enthusiast Network and what it's all about.
Okay, just like I mentioned, it's actually a network, or should I say an organization that actually specializes in localizing content in Hausa language. Content can be tech content. Our major focus right now is actually into the tech content, and we deliver such through the digital space that we have, or we have easy access to. So currently we have a community whereby we actually nurture this community, and we try to educate them on how things work in digital space in the local language, which they are more conversant with and they are more comfortable with. We have an online presence with over 100,000 people in it. And then we actually try as much as possible to engage ourselves in webinars, in events, and also to build collaboration and partnership with other organizations.
What inspired you into starting or venturing into this path of trying to localize tech technologies in a way that people could understand it in their local language, which is Hausa?
So what actually inspired me was the people around me. I noticed whenever I speak about something that I feel everyone should know about, or maybe people should be vigilant about, I tend to find people that don't even know that actually exist. So at the beginning of my journey, when I started my entire journey into tech, I noticed that the school I went to were just two girls in my class, and then not just two girls, but we just have less facilitators that actually understand our language. So coming from that background, I noticed that this is actually a very big barrier for us, because people around us, sometimes if there's something that they need to be alert of, let's say in terms of security or something that they should be aware of, they tend not to know anything that is happening regarding that. And then they can fall victims of maybe some kind of, let's say, cyber attacks, or even cyber bullying, or anything related to the cyberspace. So this is actually my why, saying that people are actually not so literate about what is happening in digital space. So why not we should localize this? Why not we should let them understand what is happening in the language that they are conversant with and they are very much comfortable with. So this is the reason why I started Creativity Enthusiast.
Every new venture comes with its own challenges. So, what were the challenges that you faced in the beginning, starting up this venture, and how did you overcome them?
So my biggest challenge at the earlier start of this was actually in terms of translation. You know, these terminologies in tech, there are some of these terms in tech that are very hard, even for an English speaking person to understand. So to translate it down to Hausa, that's another challenge for me. So the translation was actually a very big challenge for me. But moving on, I started engaging myself with books and also reaching out to people that are actually into translation and localization to actually guide me on how I can make some of these terms easy for our people to understand and also relate to. And then we also have accessibility, internet issue, especially when we want to conduct a webinar session. There's usually this internet issue or lack of access to computers and all of that in some of, especially those that live in remote areas. So these are some of the challenges, and also support, which is something that we actually tend to look out for support from, let's say, organization, private, public organization, and also the government. These are all challenges, but as we move on, we tend to do away with all those translation by building so much collaboration and partnership with organizations that are very close to us.
You mentioned about translation, and I want to know, is it that you kind of have like a book where all these translations are written down?
In Hausa, we also have Kamus. Kamus is a dictionary for Hausa. So that dictionary, I have a copy of it where I tend to look out for some of these words. And beside that, I also have Google in my fingertips where I can actually easily search for these words and then get the meaning of them.
You said the earliest challenge was translation, seeking a partnership and collaboration, and all these things boil down to money, funding. So I want to know, when you started, did you raise any fund?
So when I started, I actually required less funding because I have a good social media presence. So I utilize the audience that I have on my social media rather than the capital. So I create videos, I do write-ups, and then I share it with my audience. So you see, in that process, we actually require less funding to actually conduct such kind of operation. So when I started I did not need much funding like this present time that I have started understanding the entire journey and what it needs and the expansion that it requires.
Since you started, what strategy have you used outside social media to attract people to see the work that you're doing or the impact that you're making?
Okay, one of the strategy I use outside the social media space is actually attending events, physical engagement with people. So when I attend events, I ensure that I connect with the organizers, some of the speakers, and also tell them what I do and how can I make contribution. It can be voluntary contribution into their organization. Mind you, the kind of event that I attend, it has to be in line with what we do at Creativity Enthusiasts. So this is actually a way we can connect with people that are actually interested in what we do, and from there we start building it from there.
Mentor, you are a mentor with the Google, with the Google Tech Women
Women
Association.
Techmakers.
So tell me more about that and what has been the impact on women in the North.
The entire Google Women Techmakers journey actually started from me attending an event. I love to attend the event because this is where you build the network and this is where you meet people. So I just attended an event in Kano. They hosted an event there and I attended with a friend. And from there, I picked interest because I noticed that we don't have something similar of that in Kaduna. So when I returned back to Kaduna, I realized that we need a community like that. So I reached out to the Google Developers Group because we already have that, but we did not have the Women Techmakers yet. The Google Developers Group, that's GDG, they work hand in hand with Women Techmakers. So I reached out to the GDG and they were so excited to see actually a northerner, a female lady actually interested to lead the community that is not in existence. And from there, they guided me through on how I can apply for it. And luckily, I got accepted in 2019. So that was where the entire journey started. I started with a few people attending my event. Most of the time, it's just family and close friends that I usually drag to come and attend the event. And gradually, when I started posting about the output of the event on social media, other females started picking interest in it and they started attending the event as well. And currently, this is a community that has over 500 women in it, and these women have been incubated with so much skills in terms of tech, so much resources, and they also have a safe community where they can actually discuss what they find so difficult in the tech space. So as an ambassador for Kaduna, my work actually got so much attention to the global team, and they felt like I can actually mentor the ambassadors in Nigeria on how they can actually build their own community and make an impact in their respective states. So I also had to apply to be a mentor. I applied for it, and thanks to God, I was able to secure that slot. And from there, I get to interact with ambassadors all over Nigeria, discuss what their problem is, how can I support, how can I guide them, and also share my own experience with them. Usually it's experience that actually give out so much knowledge because you're speaking from things that has happened to you. So if they're being worried about, this is my first time starting an event and just 10 people showed up, I feel so sad about it. You just tell them that at the beginning of the journey, it usually starts like that. You just have a few people that attend your event, but moving on, if you actually hold the momentum, definitely a lot of people are going to attend. So it has been a wonderful journey, and I love the experience.
Is it that when these women are taught these skills by Google for free?
Okay, Google, from the Google part, they actually give us access to their online resources, some of their online resources for free. So, they have already taught us how to catch the fish. Now it's all left to us to know how we can utilize the fish. So we get speakers in our communities. And then these speakers, we ensure that these are actually experts in their field, and they come to attend our events and also teach our members how they can utilize a particular skill and how they can make some money out of it if possible.
So, what are the skills that these women have learned?
Data analysis, digital marketing, cybersecurity, blockchain, content creation, name them, a lot of technical skills, and also artificial intelligence, which is the reigning one right now.
Let's go back to your work at Creativity Enthusiast Network. Apart from organizing events, trying to localize the tech terms, what other services do you people offer?
Okay, we render consultation. So assuming you have a project that you want to work on and you need some guidance on how you can go about it, this is something that we do. We do one-on-one consultation on how you can go about it, and also individual consultation, whereby you are a newbie into the entire tech space, or you are trying to get yourself into the tech space and you have no idea which course is suitable for you, or the one that it's going to be in line with what you do. So we do one-on-one consultation and we recommend courses for you. And then from there, you pick the momentum, and we definitely do a lot of mentorship and guidance to ensure that you're actually on the right path.
Is this consultation, are they paid or free consultation?
Yes, we have the free consultations and we also have the monetized one.
So, how did you build your team? And how did you build systems and processes that help in smooth running of business?
So just like I mentioned, I am into project management, so I already understand the corners that it takes to actually manage a team and also manage a project entirely. So at Creativity Enthusiasts, we have also a bunch of people with expertise. Some are actually good with translation. Someone is good with content strategy. Someone is good with the digital space, and someone is good with the social media. Someone is also good with organizing events. So we ensure that we give everyone that privilege to actually showcase their talent and also to showcase their creativity, because we are all about creativity. We are not going to deprive anyone that's right or that feeling to feel so appreciated or to showcase their talent out there. So we try as much as possible to give everyone that space to showcase what they have in mind. And if it is in line with what we currently want to do, then of course we move that to the top. when it's not actually in line, we sit down, we table everything, and we try to see how we can correct it to actually fit in.
I want to ask, has the government of Kaduna ever partnered with you people to organize a tech event?
Currently, we have not partnered with the government to organize any events. It's mostly
Is it that
with NGOs and private organizations.
you have not reached the government, or you people just want to stay off contacting the government, or
Well, I will tell you sincerely, we haven't reached out to the government yet, but definitely I will look into that this year.
what are some key lessons that I've learned in this journey of being an entrepreneur?
Patience, because you're dealing with so many people. If you have 10 people, then you have 10 problems. So you have to deal with everyone individually with their own way of thinking, with their own way of assimilating things. So one of the key things that I've learned is patience, and also the impact that comes with it at the end of the day. That's the wonderful feeling that usually comes with it, saying that what you are doing is actually making an impact, and that impact is just so satisfying for me. So sometimes I even forget the problems or the challenges that I face, but when I think of the future and I think of the impact that I'm targeting, everything just goes the way I want it.
How do you handle failures, or how do you handle delays as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I've once witnessed that moment whereby I just felt everything just stopped and nothing is just working for me anymore. And during that moment, it was more of a moment of reflection for me. I went back to my drawing board. I had to do a lot of relearning or learning, and also trying to find my why. Why did I even start this entire thing? What is actually not working? What did I miss? So definitely I had that kind of moment, and all I had to do was just go back to the drawing board, and I was able to find myself through that.
What's your future plan for Creativity Enthusiast Network?
Just like I said, it's still a baby organization, and currently we have achieved a lot, especially in the social space. So in the future, I see us having a physical body whereby people can just walk in and learn anything they want to learn in their mother tongue, and we make it as conducive as possible for them and easy to understand. And also, we are globally get that global recognition, and also see how we can make our mother languages into incorporated into education in such a way that students get very conversant with it and get so much comfortability in terms of learning. Because when I translate some of this, when I do some of my videos and I post it out there and I explain, let's say, data analysis in Hausa language, I usually get comments like, so all this while, this is the meaning of data analysis, and it's sounding like one Oyinbo language that I cannot even understand again. But when you actually put these things in languages that people are comfortable with, their mother tongue, their first languages, it's usually so much easy for them to understand. So I see a future whereby we actually make language a heading body in terms of education, and also I see creativity enthusiasts channeling that and leading that industry.
What advice would you give to others, especially women who wants to venture or want to start up their business or want to venture into tech?
If you are a lady and you want to start, just start. All those procrastination of thinking whether is it going to work or is it not going to work. If you don't actually start, you not see the reason why you should actually even start, or if it's going to work or it's not even going to work. Do a lot of research, know the market situation of whatever you are going to venture into, and seek consultation from mentors or people that you see that are actually into that field that you're about to get into. Ask questions and just start with the little that you have. Do not say that I have to have everything before I start. Just start with what you have, start with that comfort, and from there, definitely things are going to expand if you put that hard work and dedication into it.
Today Africa Podcast is a podcast series where we interview African entrepreneurs and professionals and and share the stories behind their businesses. In each interview, we ask how they got started, how they grew, and how they run their business today. The stories are inspiring and also provide specific advice and insight into starting a business. By sharing these stories, we want to help others get started.